All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Todd is finally back in the studio, but before we can get filming, Todd's got to check his cell cameras.
Dude,
anything good? Mine was a bust last night. I had nothing but coyotes.
Trophy doe, baby. Let's talk about the trophy doe. That's a nice doe right there. I'll send this picture. Let's get some money going right now. Biggest doe, me or you this year? Just go for it. What's it? Who you guys betting on? Come on. Me or Justin this year?
Don't bet on me. I have this thing where I just I don't really have much of a desire to shoot a doe this year.
Really?
Yeah.
No doe? Oh,
Dude, I don't
you better bet on me. How much money are you putting up there? This is like an easy win. I like this.
I don't really need any meat. I still have some from last year.
Yeah, but
going antelope hunting, which
deer
according to you is
management?
like shooting a robin and a chipmunk in my backyard.
Not a robin.
We're going elk hunting. I got to imagine someone's going to kill an elk.
And we do have a freezer.
And there's still, dude, there's more meat in that freezer out there than we know what to do with. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know that I want to shoot a doe. I don't know. It's strange. I want my son to shoot a doe.
All right, let's be very clear here.
He'll beat you. I'll put money on him beating you.
We've got two. Yeah, but then I want to kind of let him win. That's not right.
No, that's okay. He doesn't need to know.
No, it's me against you. Guys, listen, if you don't know about our Trophy Doe contest, make sure you check it out to learn about it. You can do that by going to our website. If you don't know what our website is by now, I don't know what to tell you. So you need to go there. You need to do that because it's a ton of fun. We have two different contests, one amongst our team members, and of course you, the fan, the viewers of the show, can get involved in that as well, which we always give out some great prizes. And it's divided in two different regions. Is it two different regions?
Three, right?
Three regions. So don't feel bad if you're in the area where you just got little does. Doesn't matter. We got you covered.
We do got you covered. Guys, we're gonna jump right into
North Carolina. They're little, dude. In Florida, they're like dinks.
Are you done?
I'm done. Let's do this.
Good. We're gonna jump right into an update from me. Finally got out and did some deer hunting work.
About time.
The last couple of weeks. It is about time. Jeez. Todd's been on my butt, and yeah, let's check that out right now. Welcome to the heat of July. It is 86 degrees here on July 17th. We're in for a hot weekend. It's Friday night, so I decided instead of killing myself this weekend, I was going to come out after work, get these food plots sprayed. I haven't done anything deer hunting related in almost 3 months now, so time to start getting my butt in gear. Been doing too much fishing, not enough hunting preparation. So here I am out at my lease for the first time since I shot my turkey back in May. I had a couple cell cameras out here, and I thought that when the farmer came and drilled in these fields behind me that it was corn, but lo and behold, it is beans. Once again, we got beans for the second year in a row, which is awesome. I love having beans on this farm. Had really good luck, and if I can manage to convince the farmer to leave us a little bit, we should have a good late season out here. So today's agenda is trying to get some food plots sprayed. So I am in the food plot right now where I shot my doe last year with my son. So right up there's the ladder stand we were in. That doe was right here, right about where the shade and the sunlight meet. She had come up out of this field here and come down into here. So I'm going to get this one sprayed. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to plant in here quite yet, but I'll decide that sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks before I plant. So I got the Moose sprayer behind me. It's all wired up and ready to go. I cleaned it out last night, cleaned all the nozzles, tested it, made sure it works. So certainly makes spraying a lot easier when it's almost 90 degrees out to have the ATV and the boom rather than walking around with a backpack sprayer. So I'm going to hurry up and get this one sprayed. We're going to run to the other side of the farm. We're going to get that one sprayed, get some cameras up, possibly put out a little bit of an early mock scrape with just some forehead gland only, and we'll see what shows up. Hopefully there's some bucks to chase in here, and we'll be chasing deer before long. So time to stop talking and get to work. All right, well, food plot number 1 is sprayed. So now I'm on trail camera duty. What I'm doing is I'm putting out some of these stealth cam cellular cameras and pointing it out over this bean field right here. And the gist of it is that behind me, this is the end of our property line right here. So that tree line is the neighbors, everything this direction, and that way is all us. So what happens is neighbors have a huge chunk of timber, runs I don't know how many hundreds of yards that way. It's pretty much solid timber. The deer can go way to the south. There's more ag fields that way, but if they want to head east or north, this is the first ag field that they have access to from that really big chunk of timber. So what happens is naturally this inside corner here really gets hammered. And you can look down here and I'll show you guys the deer have been eating in these beans quite a bit. You got a bunch of tracks kind of coming along here, does and fawns. But as we look out here into these beans, you know, usually you got to walk in here a few yards, but you're going to see where all these plants are nipped off, right? So this is where these deer have been eating in here. They've been browsing in here pretty heavy. Usually what I found is, you know, the edges get some browse on them, but you want to find those areas where they just kind of walk into the middle of the field 20, 30 yards and they just sit there and munch for, you know, all night. So we're going to set up a camera here. I have a camera here pretty much every year we've hunted this farm. Got a lot of good pictures of deer here over the years. Last year, one of the bucks that I'm hoping to hunt this year was frequently using this corner coming out of the neighbors and coming into here during the summer when he was in velvet. He was a big 3-year-old, real tight, real tall 10-pointer. It was probably a 140-inch deer last year. Really, really excited to see what that deer turned into this year. I know that he made it through the season. I had pictures of him all the way through when he shed his antlers. So I'm hoping that he's still around here anyways, because he's going to be one of the #1 bucks that we target. You know, we don't really hunt this field, at least this corner right here, very much. Mostly because you could see the houses up there, right? And in my experience, the bucks anyways really don't like coming out in this field during daylight. Of course, if it's the rut, you know, all bets are off. We get plenty of pictures of bucks working scrapes down here in daylight, but pre-rut, they're not in here a whole lot, with the exception of the night that I shot my doe. I was right up over that hill right there. So there's a big dead tree right there. I was pretty close to that tree. I was right in that big oak right there. And there was one of the shooter bucks I was after was standing right here in this field. Later on, I found out I got trail camera pictures of him in daylight. I was 100 yards over the hill right there and just never even knew that he was here that evening. But by and large, the bigger bucks don't seem to like coming out in this corner during daylight. I think just because they're exposed to where the house is at. So we typically don't hunt right on this field edge. We prefer to stay back down in the woods a little bit, staging areas, you know, some funnels and some terrain that we hunt back down behind me in the woods. But this is a great spot to get pictures. During the summer, they're out here in the daylight a lot. They generally come right out of that corner right there. They come out and they feed into this field. So that is what I'm doing with this particular camera. Like most all of my cameras, I try to face it north because I do not want the sun to interfere with it, especially this time of year. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. This thing's connecting to the cellular network. I think it's done now, so I'm gonna button this one up, get it pointed out here. We're gonna head off to food plot number 2. Well, it is August. We're in the home stretch here, headed towards hunting season, and I'm finally getting out to do some deer work for a change. I've been doing a lot of fishing this summer, not so much hunting or deer work, but I've got less than 3 weeks until I leave to go to Wyoming and hunt antelope, so it is absolutely time to get some deer work done. So I am out here at my lease. Joey's with me. He had baseball practice this morning, and then we left straight from practice to come out here. So first order of business for today was to get this clover and alfalfa plot mowed. This thing actually looked really, really good. I have not mowed it once this year. Surprisingly, it looked awesome. I was thinking about killing this plot off and turning it into something else, but when I saw it, I came here 2 weeks ago to spray some of the other food plots. I saw how well this one was doing. I decided to leave it. So what I'm doing right now is we just mowed it, and now we're going to spray some fertilizer on it. It's been a couple years since I put this plot in, and it's looking really good, but it doesn't look quite as lush as it should, I think, for what the weather's been like this summer. So I've got the Moose sprayer hooked up here. It's the same sprayer that we use for killing the plots off, but we've got some fertilizer in it. We've got about 10 gallons of fertilizer in this thing. We got the boom hooked up, so we're going to get this all sprayed in here, and then once we're done with that, we're going to disc up 2 other food plots, and then we are going to plant those food plots, and we're going to try to get a ground blind in. Joey wants to shoot a deer this year. Correct or incorrect? You want to shoot a deer this year? Mm-hmm. Where are we going to put our blind at? You need to talk louder, buddy. Right where?
Where that tree fell down.
Right where that tree fell down. So I actually used to have a stand right in this tree here, but the problem was I just kept getting busted because of the wind direction. So I ended up moving that stand over to the other side of the plot, and it's way up there in a cedar tree. I call it the skyscraper. It overlooks this food plot. And last year there was a big scrape right under this tree up here. I'll show you guys. There's a bunch of vines that hang down, and I don't know what your guys' experience with vines are, but anytime I got vines that hang down like this over the edge of a field, they just hammer it. They just hammer it with scrape. So this was all scraped up right underneath here. You can actually still see some of the remnants from last year's scrape. I had a cell camera mounted on that tree right there, and I was getting pictures of deer hitting the scrape pretty regularly last year, which is just about a 25-yard shot to that stand if they're hitting this scrape. So the plan is, where this tree broke and fell down, it's created a nice area where we can disguise a ground blind in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a blind set up in there for Joey, and we're going to trim it out so that we can shoot both into this clover plot here, as well as, hopefully anyways, is the bean field on the other side, because this is just a fence row and there's a bean field on the other side. So depending on the wind and where the deer come out, hopefully we'll be able to shoot either the beans or the clover. That's the plan, right? We like to have options. So we've got our tree stand for when I'm here by myself. When I come with Joey, we're going to get a ground blind in. We got a couple cameras to check. Got a few bucks that we're looking for that were in here last year. I want to see if they're still alive. But before that, we're going to spray and do food plot work. So let's stop talking and get to it. Well, we are just done with food plots. Now we need rain. So this is the food plot, or the spot where I killed my turkey this year. Ground blind was right here, but unfortunately something fell on it. I think a tree branch fell on it and destroyed it sometime between turkey season and now. So I'm down one more ground blind. But in any case, you know, this spot when I killed my turkey, I think I mentioned in one of those videos, it was planted in clover, but there was just a ton of thistles coming up. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get out here and mow it, and the thistles just took over. This was head-high thistles, the entire thing. So I came in here and killed it 2 weeks ago. It's pretty good and dead. The problem is that it had already gone to seed, so I'm going to be fighting the same battle next year when all this thistle comes back. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have to really try next year to control this weeds a little bit better before planting. But for purposes of what we're doing, this one is done for now. I planted this with a mix of peas, rape, radishes, and buckwheat is what's in here. So I had really good luck with this mixture last year on the other side of the farm. Figured I'd try it over here this year, and then next year I'm going to try to turn this one into clover. And then my other clover plot that we saw earlier is right down this trail right here. So if you go down that trail, right on the other side is the clover plot. That clover plot next year is going to get killed off, probably put into radishes, turnips, something for late season. But you know, the gist with this particular tree stand, in this particular spot, why I like it so much, obviously we've got a hilltop. Our tree stand is going to be right here in this cedar tree. I've got a lone wolf up there. I need to cut that one big branch that goes that way and that one over there, kind of screwing up my shots. I'll come back and do that here in a few weeks. But we're on top of this ridge, and as we go down this side, we get into really good bedding over on the neighbors, which is going to be to the east. We've got one of our main, you know, I guess you could call it a sanctuary. We just don't really go into it. It's a good bedding area. It's kind of like this little pocket right in the middle of our 100 acres here. So we get some bucks that tend to live in here, and then everything seems to just kind of pass through this spot. As they come up this hill, they hit this little top right here and then go down. Even before this was a food plot, there was a lot of deer up here. They also use it as a kind of a gateway. You could see right through there is a trail that goes out to the destination bean field right on the other side of this trail. Is probably about 30-40 yards long, and right where it goes through, it busts out into that field. So a lot of times what these deer do is they like to come up to the top of this thing and then funnel out and go to the destination food source, even if they're not going to be eating in here. Even if there wasn't food in here, this is still just a good spot. I had a lot of bucks right here on this tree last year. I had a bunch of bucks in daylight on scrapes, including just about every shooter on this farm. So I know this is a good spot. I just, you know, I didn't hunt it much last year, to be honest with you. I think I hunted this stand 2 or 3 times in December and January. One time I did see one of our shooter bucks, but he snuck up behind me and got downwind before I could obviously get a shot at him. But in any case, yeah, this is done, ready to go. So we're gonna go check the cameras and then get out of here. We got about a 2.5 hour ride home, and Mama's going to be wondering where exactly we are at. So I will check in with you guys in a little while. We'll let you know if we got anything exciting on trail camera. Go from there.
Well, Justin, it looks like you're finally getting some work done.
Yes, I am finally getting some work
Finally.
done. I took a little bit different approach with this segment this year because these are the same food plots I've been planting the last couple of years in the same spots. So rather than kind of showing the process that I go through, like this is spraying, this is mowing, this is disking, this is like we all understand at that point. Like I try to just explain a little bit more about like why those plots are where they're at, and then where my stands are at and what the kind of thought process behind hunting them is. So hopefully give you guys a little bit of just kind of insight into one of the pieces of property that I hunt. You know, that particular piece, we've been hunting it since 2011. So I think this is whatever that 9 or 10 seasons now, right? I killed a buck off of it my very first season, which happened to be the biggest buck to date that I've ever shot. I haven't killed another buck off that farm since then. And I was thinking about that, and like, that's kind of annoying me. I took a couple years where I didn't hunt it. You know, Matt Miller was hunting there for a while. He killed a real nice drop time buck off of it. So when
what piece were you talking about?
My lease out west.
Okay.
That you
So
came
we're
to
very
me
sneaky about this.
You went out there.
I got it.
But like for a couple years, I took kind of a sabbatical from that lease because we had some other properties to hunt. And I just couldn't hunt everything. So there were some other guys hunting in there. You know, my friend Mike that I hunt with killed an absolute giant 6-pointer out there last year. It was like a mid 130s 6-pointer, just awesome deer. But like for me, like
how's Mike doing? I haven't talked to Mike in a while. Mike doing all right?
He's good, man.
Is he good?
Yeah. Kids are growing up. Work is
Mike, call me. You haven't called me in a while. Call me up.
So, anyways, like I kind of have it like stuck in my head this year that I really want to try to shoot a deer out there this year, like a buck. Like, not that I haven't.
Like a buck.
Well, I've shot does out there almost every year I've been back. I go and I shoot a doe off of it every year, but I just haven't shot a buck. Last year I didn't spend a ton of time there because I had an Iowa tag. I spent all of my quote unquote good time in Iowa. I hunted there a little bit in the late season, but not much. We had a weird late season last year where the weather was just really funky. So this year, like I just have it stuck in my head that like I want to kill a buck on that farm.
Hey, you know, the reality is, I say that too much. Sorry, I always say that too much. But you know what? Sometimes we just got too many spots. It's not good either. I mean, I just think about when I was younger and I was a kid, right? And you only had one spot. And you made it like okay, maybe I had 2 spots. But you made those spots, you really made them work. And you hunted them longer. And then the longer you hunted them, the more activity you saw in this spot or that spot. Then you went ahead and made the move on those spots. And then you were successful. And then you always were desiring to get more and more spots. And then you somehow, I think, you know, more isn't better.
You want me to tell you a depressing fact?
Ooh.
Kind of a very depressing fact?
No, I don't want to get depressed.
No, the last 3 years.
This is COVID year.
No.
Depression.
No, this isn't like depressing, like life depressing, but deer hunting depressing. The last 3 years, I've killed a buck a year in Illinois. 2 of them came off of a piece of property I've been hunting forever that I hunt for free, just permission. 1 of them came off of public land. So in the last 3 years, I have 2 different leases, keep in mind. Food plots, trail cameras, stands, all the work and everything. I've killed on public and my free to hunt spot that has no food plots on it at all.
Yeah, so all you food plot shamer losers.
But it's just so funny. Like I spend all this time and money and energy and effort on this stuff, and I end up killing my deer on public land or spots that don't have food plots, or I don't really do much there and don't pay any money to hunt there. Sometimes it makes me wonder why I waste all this money on leases and food plots, but I enjoy it.
Because it's what we love to do.
Yes.
And you know what? We've talked about it a million times. I'm sure if Brandon took his time to go through and watch every single one of these shows, we'd probably say the same thing over and over and over. You know, dude, we're passionate about this stuff. We love this stuff. You can't stop thinking about it. Yeah. And then you start to overthink, and then you start putting in more food plots and more. I'm embarrassed to tell you, I mean, oh my gosh, I got a piece of property that has, dude, it's not even funny. So many stands on it for how small that it is. And it's like, I've hung stands I never even hunted. I mean, it's ridiculous. But you get it in your mind and you think it's all going to happen there. And then
How about hanging a stand?
And never hunting it? I got plenty of those.
And hunting it year after year after year because you think it's a good spot, but you never kill anything
And you
out of
keep
it,
going back
and
to
never
it?
see any good deer out
That's
of it. You
dumb.
keep going back.
That's
to it.
bad.
Do you have any of those? 'Cause I
Are
certainly
you kidding?
do.
Yeah.
But it's like it's hard because I keep thinking like it's got to be in the right spots. It's a good spot. I know it's going to happen here. Sooner or later, it's going to happen, and it still never happens. But yet I go out there. I go out with the intent to take it down and move it, and I'm like,
All right, Justin, I'm cutting you off here, buddy. I'm moving on.
fine.
I'm moving on to the Ask the Expert question. Dakota Goodyear. Archery season does not open in Pennsylvania until the end of September or beginning of October. Going off that, how soon should I start placing stands? I don't want to risk safety, but at the same time, I want to give the deer time to get used to the stands. I don't want to risk safety. What are we talking about here?
I'm not sure. I'm just going to go with
Safety
like
of-
how soon before the season should he start?
Safety
making
of like
stands?
busting, scaring the deer?
Yeah, I'm
That's
assuming.
gotta be what it is.
Honestly,
You're wearing your
Dakota.
harness, you don't got to worry about safety, right?
Yeah, safety as long as you're wearing a harness, but I don't think that's what we're talking about. For me, I don't think it matters, to be completely honest with you.
I agree.
hang stands in the spring and trim them out and come back and hunt them in the fall. And I hang stands during the middle of the season and hunt them the same day and still shoot deer out of them.
I
So I think this idea of like not quote unquote disturbing an area, like I guess if you're going to go in with a chainsaw and mow everything down and make
Well,
a
yeah,
bunch
there's
of racket.
disturbance
Right,
levels.
but I mean, when you think of hanging and hunting a stand, it's a very common thing. A lot of people do it, sneak in, hang a stand, hunt it that same morning or afternoon and still shoot a deer out of it. So for me,
Agree.
I hang stands whenever I have the opportunity. Hopefully when it's not warm and there's not a lot of bugs out. That's really all I
Now,
go
I
by.
will tell you before we started filming this, Justin called me
Old
old,
man.
and I need ladder stands now, which is, dude, I am more flexible than you. I can do more cardio than you. How the hell can you even say a comment like that? Dude, I can smoke you right now in cardio.
What does that have to do with anything?
Ladder stands? I don't need ladder stands because
I wish I
Because he
had-
said I wouldn't use a tree saddle. Like seriously, dude, I am like a tree ninja. Dude, I can climb. I'm like a monkey in trees. You've seen that.
Raph, I wish, can I get access to all your little camera system you got around here to have all the times you said, man, I don't know, there's something about hunting out of those ladder stands is just pretty nice. I don't know how many
I
years I
did.
can keep doing this,
I did.
climbing up these stands, or, oh man, those, I know I don't really
No,
like
it's
hunting out of
climbing the
those
stands
box
with all
blinds,
the-
but those are pretty nice.
I don't know, but okay.
Crap.
That
Come
may,
on,
I
you
may have
can't-
said that a couple of times, but I
That's what I'm saying.
I still can whip your butt climbing trees.
So,
just to be clear.
all right, I want to be clear on something. I have asked Todd many times now,
Oh.
presented the idea that him and I should do a Todd versus Justin public land challenge, 2 days in October on a piece of ground him and I have never been on before. Him and I, we go there, we have Brad and Nick or somebody follow us around with our cameras. We come up with some sort of competition between us and we go do this. And you're the one that always poo-poos it.
I
and
never
says you don't want to
poo-pooed
do it.
I thought we were doing it last year, and then you're like, oh.
No, you
man,
didn't
I
want
got
to do it.
3
You're like,
kids and
I
I'm
don't
busy."
want to do that. I don't want to go to public.
Guys, I look just
land.
like that, too.
That's how it looks in my head when you say it. So I think we should do it. And if you guys think we should do
Comment
it,
below.
if you think a Justin versus Todd 2-day public land challenge here in Illinois, a piece of ground we've never been on before, I think it would be fun.
All right. Let's see what the people think. If you want to do it, I'll take you. I'm not afraid of you.
See, I just got to call you out in public. That way you can't back down this time.
What do you mean public?
Well,
I
this
thought
is
you go on
in
my
public.
private land during this. No?
No, this is in public. You can't trespass on the private land next to the public either, even if it happens to be people you know. That's the rules. All right, next up, guys, we're getting into the trail cam trophy photo segment for this week. We have some big bucks coming up, so let's take a look at these photos.
Adam Hart,
Cody Birch,
Dakota Crankshaw,
James Munger,
Ryan Birch.
and Randall Stauffer.
All right. Well, first off, I'm glad that we did the big buck. I mean, we finally got out of trophy photos because we are in big
We did
buck
trail
time.
camera photos last week.
I know, that's
too,
what I'm
when you
saying.
were
I'm glad you guys actually followed some rules when I was gone. Ryan Birch is the winner. That is an absolute, yes, I moved my glasses because I'm
think it's
getting older.
Birch or Brick.
Brich.
How would you
Well,
say
Rich
that?
is Brich.
B. Rich. Ryan B. Rich
Dude, that's a giant.
from Kansas.
Make sure you zoom in on this when we're talking about this guy. Look at the character this thing's got. Wait till you get older. You'll be like me. That thing's a beast. I hope you shoot that buck. We want to hear the story too,
Yeah,
Ryan. If
wouldn't
you
it be
get him.
sweet if he sent in his trophy photo and then won the trophy photo
Yes.
contest too? Huh? That'd be
Ryan,
pretty
I'll tell you
cool.
what I'm going to do.
Oh boy.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You shoot this buck, you get a double prize from us. That's a heck of a deer. We want the story too.
Fair enough. Well,
And if you get it on film, you get a triple prize from us. There you go. I want to see it. I want this.
we'll give you 3 Bowhunter Die stickers instead of just 1.
No, we always do better than that.
All right, guys. Thanks for sending in your trail camera photos. Make sure you keep those things coming. We love seeing those big bucks growing racks. They're going to be shedding velvet before you know it. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week, I should say, right here on Bowhunter Die.
Stuffer? Stuffer? Stauffer. I don't know how to say that.
Stauffer, right?
Stauffer?
Like Marty Stauffer.
You think so?
Marty Stauffer?
I remember Marty
Could be his
Stauffer.
kid.
Randall Stauffer.
There's no L in there.
That's a good point. Randall. Oh man, I don't like this guy.
Marty Stauffer. Stauffer.
Okay, you ready? Ryan Birch.